Dracarys.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
Winter is coming.
Welcome back to another episode of the Side Effect Podcast. My name is James from the YouTube channel Dust on the Throne, and I am joined by my esteemed colleagues Tarzan from Trial by Trivia and Chris from Smokescreen. Missing in action is Val from Because Geek. She had prior obligations. Today's episode is about the Avengers Infinity War.
That's all official sounding there.
I know.
But yeah, we're going old school style where we originally started this podcast and doing a little movie review for Infinity Wars, Avengers Infinity War. So overall, before we get into details, best Marvel movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe?
Yes, absolutely.
Quite possibly, yes. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer for me, and just for the mere fact that, going into this movie right away, I was like, okay, how are they going to make all these motherfuckers work in one movie? And they did it. They did it fucking well. I mean, I think so. I don't think there was any, awkwardness or anything. I think all the characters mashed pretty well, and we'll get into more of the other details too, but that was the key thing for me.
That's the thing I told James on the way to the theater. I was like, the only thing I worry about is them trying to get everybody screen time. Like, is it going to be rushed? That I know it's a longer movie. It was 2 hours and 49 minutes, right? Almost 3 hours. But I was worried about them rushing scenes so they could fit every hero in there or whatever. But they made it work. They made it work with them being in different parts of the galaxy. And I got to say, I dug the opening scene, the introduction to Thanos. I mean, you just, right off the bat, he's a badass. He beats the Hulk's ass. Kills a couple people. Loki. Heimdall was probably the saddest death for me. He's just one of my favorite characters. But they did that right. They introduced him as, okay, he ain't like the rest of them. He ain't playing.
Right.
And then what I didn't like that came from that was the Hulk never showed back up. I can understand doing that as a joke almost like once or twice.
Yeah.
But the one thing that bothered me about the movie, the Hulk, they kept I know at some point in part two he'll come back, but it's like they extended that joke too long.
They sure did. That's exactly what it was. It was almost the feeling of a joke because he was talking to himself and it was fun. He's like, oh, come on, guy. But you got to know, I mean, the Hulk came out blazing when he attacked Thanos and did whip the shit out of Thanos for a second. Shows you how resilient Thanos is and tough because he came back and laid it on the Hulk, and the Hulk didn't want any more. I mean, he retreated like a turtle.
Yeah, nobody pays money to see Mark Ruffalo. I mean, no offense to... I mean, I like him as Bruce Banner. I'm just saying...
Agreed.
You see him to turn into the Hulk, and they put him in the Iron Man Hulk suit. I believe that's a comic reference, but the actual Hulk was in it, right? I don't know. Tarzan, you may have read the comics. I've read about these comics, so I don't know.
I never remember reading about Banner being in it. I could be wrong, but I don't remember Banner ever being in the Hulkbuster.
If I did have a critique, I just remember I left the theater thinking they spent too much time in space. Or not necessarily that, but just not enough time on Earth. A lot of other planets and places, Again, I told Chris, I don't know if they're trying to get away from all the destruction like they've had before and like DC had in Batman versus Superman. No, in the Superman with Zod and Superman, how they destroyed so much and how that put a bad taste in fans' mouth. So I don't know if they want to, avoid destroying too much of Earth. But I just felt like we needed more fights on Earth.
Yeah, and I think that they had to kind of do it. I understand to a degree because you had Guardians. They had to set up and bring everybody together. But when they did come together, it was in Wakanda, so it wasn't around a major city.
Yep.
It was out in the field, open area. So maybe there is something to that because at least DC. The one thing I can't say good about DC is they used the destruction as a means to use for Batman to be pissed off at Superman.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Other than that, the movie was horrible, but at least the premise of him being pissed off and worried about him was used, being the destruction of the whole damn place. So,
but leading into this, Tarzan, what was your favorite Marvel movie? Because you see, I had to catch up. I went to the theater about a week before and saw Black Panther for the first time. I thought that one was really good. I still lean towards Iron Man, the first Iron Man. What are yours?
A lot of people do. I don't know. I do like the original Avengers movie. That's definitely up there. I like it better than the second one. I like it better than, let me think. Yeah, Civil War. I guess I don't put Civil War high because I know the comic books and how many other characters had to be left out. And you know what I mean? I don't know if you know too much about that, but that's just the issue, how they changed it so much. It was kind of just weird to me. But I see what they were trying to do and, trying to bring other characters in. And that I had a big problem with that one. Doctor Strange was very good. I like that. I didn't think I was going to like it, and that was a damn good movie. The first Guardians. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with the second Guardians except the villain thing with me. That's the biggest problem.
I agree.
Is that, they did the shit. The Guardians were still the Guardians. Everything was still the same. It's just Ronan definitely outdid fucking Kurt Russell. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
Yeah, I agree.
Ronan was pretty cool.
One thing I'll say about Infinity Wars, though, to kick this off, is I was surprised that in part 1, he got all 6 stones. I thought that was spread out among 2 movies, but he got them all, including the Soul Stone, apparently.
Yeah, he was getting them fast in the beginning.
Yeah,
man.
I thought it was going to be spread out over 2 movies, and then he gets maybe the last one in the beginning of part 2 or middle or so, and then boom, the finger snap. You know what I mean? But no, he got them all, and it ended with a rapture event, which I think surprised a lot of people. But talking about that really quick.
The snap or the stones?
The snap.
Okay.
All right, he does the snap. Everybody's shocked that so many people vanished, turned to ash, whatever it is. They disappear from existence. And it's implied that it's half the universe, half the life in the universe. But it almost, when you know that Spider-Man's got another movie coming, you know Black Panther 2 is coming, it almost takes away the shock and awe.
It does.
It really does. So I wonder how they're going to do it. Are the people that died before going to stay dead? I think everybody expected Captain to die in this movie, but it was Bucky, and that's got to be reversed. That's got to happen.
Yeah.
Because Bucky will take over the helm.
Is there any way, based on what you're saying, because that's what we were talking about that night, was you already know these other movies are coming out. Is there any way that the new Spider-Man could be a flashback take place before this?
I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Really
and you have the Miles Morales Spider-Man that could come into play. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think so. But yeah, they could do that. But I cannot see them, especially after Black Panther and its success.
Yes,
killing Spider-Man and Black Panther for good. I just don't see that.
No, it's not happening
at all. It's no way. There's no way, because we kind of saw a preview of it anyway when he reversed time to get the last stone out of Vision's forehead.
Yes.
So
God, that pissed me off.
Now the question is what happened to the gauntlet? It looked like it was black and corrupted, and the stones wasn't glowing anymore. Where did it go? Who can use it? Who can access it? Obviously, Doctor Strange has a plan.
Well, you noticed that he didn't have that gauntlet anymore, correct?
Yeah, I don't think it was on his hand when he was on the last scene when he was just kind of staring off into the sunset. But he went into that little Vision Quest place, and he saw young Gamora and that type of thing. So the question is, Doctor Strange saw 14 point something million possibilities, and they could only win one of those. And he said, "This is the only way, Tony," when telling that to Tony Stark when he gave him the Time Stone. So there's something going to be involved there about time and reversing or whatever. I don't think they do multiple universes. I swear I hope they don't go that route or I'm done. Just fix it. You know what I mean? The same universe.
Yep.
It reverse it somehow, whatever. But don't do multiple timelines and universes.
Well, here's the thing. That's the difference between Marvel and DC. Marvel brings everybody back to fucking life, and DC says, "Oh, okay, now let's do Earth fucking 7 and Earth 25 and."
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the difference. Marvel always finds a way. They might reverse time somehow. That's very possible. That I could see happening, but there's not going to be no multi-universe shit. I don't see that happening.
I haven't watched any reviews from other people on this.
Either.
So I feel like the way I walked away from it was feeling like Thanos means well. Like, he really thinks he's doing good for the universe. He's just kind of psychotic about his way of going about it. He's almost a sympathetic character because he killed his daughter, and then he looked like the scene Chris is talking about after the snap, a little regretful, you know?
Yeah, he said it cost him everything. And I'm actually glad they did that. They made him the gray character. He's not just super evil. He actually, it's just like, it's almost like Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones and Germs writing, right?
Yeah.
The villain's just the hero of the other side. He thinks what he's doing is going to benefit the universe, but it's just twisted in his own mind, and he thinks it's great. But it showed his sympathetic side. He showed he actually he had to actually love Gamora to get the Soul Stone. Otherwise, the sacrifice wouldn't have worked.
And that's what I'm wondering if that's the twist. I don't know yet. There's some kind of twist why that didn't work out the way he wanted it to.
Yeah.
Or that maybe the twist is that he will somehow undo it. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell.
I thought about that. Like
I have not.
He comes around. He's going to end up dying at some point, but still, I think. But I could see him regretting it and seeing the error of his ways or something, almost getting a little bit of redemption before he goes out and reversing it somehow. But again, that still begs the question. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what happened to the gauntlet, the stones now, whatever. Where are they at? Are they with him still? Can he still use them? Can anybody access them? Did they go back to their original location? I mean, the big thing, of course, was the end credit scene that sets up Captain Marvel. That was the big thing. She's going to come save the day. She's a super duper, one of the few characters I would say in the Marvel Universe that could face Thanos alone. Looked like Thor could do that pretty damn good. They really pumped Thor up this movie,
wow,
like they did in Ragnarok.
Yes.
So it was like you should have aimed for the head.
God, that was a good scene.
And
man.
then he didn't really quite think that finger snap through.
Tarzan, did you get pumped seeing the Red Skull again? That was pretty cool. You got to admit.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, he was banished there.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of the Red Skull, but I knew he got zapped off somewhere in Captain America, so I was glad to see him in that role. It kind of fit,
Yeah.
It kind of fit.
It really does.
Real quick, going back to Tom Holland, he ain't going nowhere because they casted him as young as they could for a reason, so he can do a shitload of movies. He's contracted like fuck.
Good point.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Let's just start at the beginning. One of the things I did like about this movie is from the fucking word go, it was entertaining. You know what I mean? There was shit happening from fucking, from point A all the way to the end. I think there's one little slightly dead part. But, I mean, in 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours actually, you only had a little, and that was dialogue. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The whole fucking movie was really go, 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 go. There was so much action. There was so much. The big thing, I think, is like the character depth we were talking about. And Thanos was great. I mean, I expected him to be a lot more of a prick than he actually is.
Yep.
But he's, it's like kind of like a crazy person. You know what I mean? They believe what they believe. You know what I mean? Just like that Son of Sam killer. He believed a dog fucking told him to do the dumb shit he did. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it definitely started off with a bang, and it just kept going. It was like when you had the original intro scene for Thanos where he beats the Hulk's ass, and then, Heimdall sends the Hulk back to Earth, Loki dies, all that good stuff. And then you have Doctor Strange and Tony Stark and them talking. And they're talking about, like, this Thanos guy, when the Hulk gets there, he's telling them about, look, he's already got 2 stones. And, I mean, before they finish the conversation,
dude, yeah,
there's a portal opening up, and there's the Black Order right there looking for the stones.
And they ain't playing.
And they already there. I mean, you were thinking, okay, everybody's going to get together and meet.
Right.
And, no, there was no time for a meeting. It was just you had different Avengers on different parts of the planet or different parts of the universe, for that matter, and it never stopped.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and I think the only one that kind of looked a little weird was Proxima Midnight, but she's weird looking, period. She's just a weird looking. Corvus looked pretty good. He didn't look too bad at all. And I always forget the name of the other fucker. The one that's actually the badass, I think, of all of them. The one that was, going head to head there with Doctor Strange a lot.
Yes, he is a bad.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I almost didn't buy just him getting tricked into getting sucked out into space. Because he had been too smart for everything up to that point. And all of a sudden they pull the old alien shit with a little 80s reference in there. Have you ever seen an old movie called Aliens?
Yes.
Of course, that's always the great banner of Peter Parker and Tony Stark.
I'm trying to remember. There were so many little fucking, grabs like that. You know what I mean? The humor in it was pretty good. It really was, I thought. And Tony Stark was probably the biggest smart ass out of all of them, I think.
Yeah, he always is.
Yep.
He always is. I don't know. They take Thor a little too far, slightly, like they did in Ragnarok. Ragnarok was my favorite Thor movie, but they take Thor a little too far now. I mean, but sometimes it works because he's kind of this dense guy. You don't know Earth's culture and don't even get when he don't even like know he's making a joke. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so when he called him Rabbit, it kept fucking working.
I was gonna say
it worked every time.
Every single
Rabbit,
time.
more
Rabbit
power.
and tree.
Yeah.
Rabbit and tree.
Yes, I mean it's just subtle little things like that actually worked, but it's almost like I guess that's more of a Ragnarok complaint. I guess it was a little too much in serious situations, but it worked here.
And I'll say that as far as well-placed humor and the actor who really brought their A game was that Batista.
Oh yeah, yeah, Drax.
Dude, he really brought it in this freaking movie, man.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
He is, man. And you know, just to think that dude was a WWE wrestler.
Yeah,
And-
I'm invisible.
Yeah, that was so funny, man. Every scene he was in, I thought he stole. I really I liked him so much better this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rocket surprised me, and this kind of goes back a little bit to what we were talking about in the beginning about so many characters. Rocket didn't have a lot of time to be a smartass. He's usually a big smartass, but you didn't see Rocket that much. I mean, he was.
Said, I'll have that eye. That was funny.
that was funny. Yeah, I mean, Rocket was. You know what I'm saying? That he's usually a bigger smartass. They cut back on that, but they just didn't have the screen time. But
Right.
yeah, I still love Rabbit. More power.
And Thanos with the bubbles. I thought it worked great that both times there that he goes back to the bubbles. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was a little cutesy type thing. Like,
yeah, what's the sweetest thing he could do?
yeah, yeah, that was funny.
So my thing is, having not seen Doctor Strange, I left that movie going, I want to go watch Doctor Strange now. Because I purposely didn't watch Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I just
same
thought it would
here.
be too far out there for me.
Same here.
And
Exactly.
watched that movie and was like, holy shit, he's a cool character. I mean, I liked him in the comics. I just didn't think they'd be able to pull it off. But they do it really well.
Yeah, it looked very much
absolutely.
like an Inception style, and I was like avoiding it. I was like, I'll watch it when on DVD or whatever when it comes out, but I'm not going to the theater. But no, I really liked him.
The Doctor Strange movie's pretty fucking good. I just happened, I think it was on Netflix or something, and I was like, let's watch Doctor Strange. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I was like, ooh, I was into it. They go to Dormammu, and that's another character you guys will learn about when you watch that. And he's, part of that universe. And, yeah, it's really well done. I mean, because it's the development of it. It's just kind of crazy that he's caught on as well as he has. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, he don't know shit about that world that he's in now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now, how did he
Yeah.
get that stone Tarzan? How was that presented
I
to him?
don't fucking remember. Now I got to go watch Doctor Strange again myself because I'm sure it's somewhere. It's probably something to do with the whole Dormammu thing. I don't know. I don't remember.
Now, his sidekick is pretty damn awesome too, man. And what do you
Yeah.
think he's doing now? Where did he go?
He's eating a hamburger.
Well, I mean, because we needed him, again.
Yeah, he said he went to guard the house
or
the house they live in, whatever it is. He went to guard it apparently, so it was kind of a way.
Oh,
to,
something. I think it's that portal or something, probably to fucking where Dormammu. Oh, I hope they don't add him too. Holy fuck.
And you collected comics when you were young, Tarzan?
Yeah, and I just, I kind of watched a lot of the stuff because of my kid, so I kind of got an idea of what Disney's trying to do with it. They try to stay pretty true to these comics.
Well, that's my thing. That's what I was going to mention is I did when I was younger. And then, for some reason, when I got older and eBay came around, I basically went back and bought the same comics I had as a kid instead of got into any new story arcs or anything. But when I was young, I had the Avengers Annual where the Vision and Scarlet Witch got married. I thought we would see some kind of quickie wedding or something with them, and it didn't get to happen. So I hate that didn't come to fruition.
yeah, I was going to say I don't. Scarlet Witch I could see coming back. Vision, I don't know.
I think he's done.
I think he's done. I think he just ripped it out of his fucking head. He's got a big hole in his head, in his motherfucking head. Sorry, that was Cypress Hill. I'm sorry, guys. That just came to me. But yeah, he's got a big hole in his head. I don't think he's going to retire. I mean, they could technically repair him. He is a machine, so I guess they could repair him. But we'll see.
But without that stone, he's going to be
It
more
is-
just like a living Jarvis, right? With
well,
no powers.
mixed with Tony Stark and Jarvis. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say how that integrates and what it.
I
you
hope
know.
they bring him back. He was a cool character.
And then now we got this advancement with Tony Stark now, too. I thought that was pretty cool, too, with the nanobites and shit.
Oh yeah, that was
yes.
badass. And then the Iron Spider.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
I
pretty
will
sick.
say though, and I know they won't overdo it, but depending on the Spider-Man movie that comes out, Part 2, I don't want to see the Iron Spider the whole time. I want to see the old school suit, and I know he's actually filmed
Agreed.
in that too. So we'll see we'll see what timeline it is and all that too.
No, a lot of these characters aren't. I mean, they're coming back. There's no doubt about it. It's just how they're going to do it. I don't know yet. And we're probably looking at another 2.5 to 3 hour movie again. I'm sure, but they're going to bring in more characters. But let's not rule out. I don't think we'll see the X-Men yet, but I would not rule out the possibility of seeing possibly like the Fantastic Four. It could happen.
Yeah, they could do that. They could do Deadpool now. They could do a couple X-Men or whatever. But I'm not sure the MCU right now, the X-Men, are they going in this timeline, or was that earlier? Like Logan and all them's dead, Professor X is dead. Is that now? I can't remember.
I don't think that's going to matter because it's technically, if you think about it, it's a whole different universe, and that universe is called Fox. Now Fox and Marvel are, they're all united. They can do whatever they want with fucking that now. I mean, they could really start the whole X-Men story from scratch, which I hope they don't do. They've done that twice. So I hope they just kind of integrate them in. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows who the fuck they are. They've been around for.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean,
years.
though. But even in the Fox universe, now that it's back in Marvel's hands, or Disney's, who is the master of the universe now, that still did happen. So we'll see. But I think they could. I don't know if they'll do it. They could sneak Deadpool in there, Fantastic Four. They can do whatever they want. But again, do they want to overdo it with all these characters? We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, like I said, the good thing about this now is there's a lot more on the table. Okay, there's a shitload more that you can do. Okay, because another thing too is like with the X-Men and stuff, you have so many other characters that haven't even been in these other universes. I mean, you've got Excalibur, you got Alpha Flight, you got X-Force. I mean, you got Generation X. The options here are fucking insane. Okay,
I love Alpha Flight.
Yeah, Sasquatch.
And what about the Defenders? I used to love them when I was a kid, where you got She-Hulk and those guys.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know I hope she comes along soon too. That's coming. I know that's coming soon. We're gonna get. Is it Jennifer Walters or is it?
Damn, I can't remember.
That sounds right. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't see why. I don't see why not. I mean, you got Captain Marvel coming. Obviously, this is a big setup for that, and that'll be based in the '90s. So we should enjoy that movie.
And Beast used to go back and forth between the Defenders and the X-Men.
There's a lot of hoppers, just like fucking, like Wolverine. Wolverine's hopped. Alpha Flight.
Yeah,
he's been around. Spider-Man's done a little hopping himself. Yeah, you got a couple of that kind of jumped here.
Oh man, and speaking of they could bring in the anti-hero Venom.
Oh, that would be so.
That's
cool.
not going to happen.
I know it's still Sony, but they got the deal now. They can technically do it. You know what I mean?
They won't. And that's just it, too. I mean, think of it this way, too. If they wanted to, which I don't think it's a good move, now they got, I would say they probably have the rights to Luke Cage and everything else now, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, Disney took everything from everybody, so they can do what they want. But yeah, I don't know. Let's get back to the movie. We'll see. We'll just have to speculate. That's all speculation. So they come down to Earth, and immediately he's after all the stones, and like we were talking about. So let's go through the stones. So he had the Power Stone at the beginning, right, which was the Tesseract. Loki had stolen it. Loki has to give it to him to save Thor. He tries to kill him. That doesn't quite work out for Loki.
Right.
He gets choked out, but sweet, for good, I think, this time. I'm pretty sure it's for good. He could, Loki's been dead before, though, I will say. But here's the thing. I don't want him to bring everybody back. If you just have that option every time, there's no shock value in a death. So I like Loki. I think he's cool. But you can't keep bringing him back. So I think he's gone. So anyway, that's the Tesseract, the Power Stone.
And then there's a Time Stone?
And the Time Stone was with Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Strange.
So that's the Time Stone. So he just kind of handed it to him, which obviously this goes into the big plan. This is the only way, right, if he went into the future and saw this. We had the Soul Stone, which was the big question coming into this movie. Where was the Soul Stone? And he ended up getting it off this planet, and that was when the Red Skull was there, which I thought was cool, and he had to make a sacrifice. So they went straight. I thought it would be more of a mystery to that. There would have actually been theories about, was it in Adam Warlock, and other things, and just ended up being on this planet, and there it is. You just throw your daughter down off a cliff, and apparently it just arrives in your hand.
But you could see a lot of failed attempts.
Yeah, a lot of bones.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of bones.
Well, and that's another thing, too. I just don't see her being dead or being out of that Guardians universe. Something's got to happen there.
Yeah,
that's
but
the
I
one
mean,
character I'm not sure about. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, but I mean, technically, right now, Rocket's the only one left, and we know everybody else is coming back, or most of them. So I could see one missing. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see.
I could too.
Did Nebula get dusted too?
I don't remember Nebula.
Who was Nebula?
Her sister, the
blue.
The
one that was in that. Oh, that was pitiful, dude.
Yeah, Thanos never loved her for sure, but I don't remember what happened to her. I remember him accessing the memory or whatever from her when she held her captive. But oh no, she escaped.
She escaped. She kicked some ass.
She escaped. So I don't remember seeing her disappear or anything.
The hardest part I'm having is there's so much happened. I'm a little confused on some things. Like, was it her and Black Widow that was fighting Proxima?
That was her and Michonne from the Black Panthers, the Kingsguard.
You're right.
That's right. Good movie.
Yeah, she was.
She got shredded.
They were fighting her. I was surprised, actually.
She would disappear whenever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was surprised, speaking of the Avengers, the original crew, we had Hawkeye, and Ant-Man didn't show up. I fully expected Ant-Man to, but they explained that from the Civil War era that they were off and had some kind of immunity deal to stay hidden with their families or something, which we know Ant-Man's got a movie coming out, so I'm surprised he was not in this movie. I expect to see him in part 2.
We could have used him, especially the big version of him.
Yes, absolutely.
Or even the small. The small could be even deadlier.
Yeah, I was going to say it could, because Thanos couldn't. He may not account for that. So maybe that's be a big deal in the second part. What other stones we got? So we got the Power, Time, and Soul Stone. But he got all 6. So we got 3 more. We had the Reality Stone was next. The Reality Stone was the one with the Collector, correct? Because he had already gotten it when Gamora and Star-Lord got there.
That's right, it was the Collector.
And she thought she killed him, and he had already taken it and changed the reality to make it look like it. And then we saw the bubble scene when she stabbed him. So the Collector had the Reality Stone. The Mind Stone was Vision's, correct?
I think so.
Yes.
But the reality was definitely the one with the Collector.
Right. He had to have the Time Stone to reverse time to get the one out of Vision's head. So I think that's the Mind Stone. And he had already had the Time Stone from Doctor Strange because he came to Earth after Doctor Strange, right? So yeah, so he got the Mind Stone from Vision, even though that's the color don't match up here, I don't think. I'm not sure exactly, but
here's another one. Space, Mind, Soul, Reality.
Yeah, there is a Space Stone. I said space.
Mm-hmm, that's what I said.
Tarzan laughed at me.
So yeah, I want to figure out these now. So Power Stone, Loki did have that, right? That was the
Tesseract. Yep.
Time Stone. Are we sure that was Doctor Strange?
That's Doctor Strange. He was the one guarding that for sure.
Soul Stone, we said was the Red Skull.
Yep, on the planet.
Reality Stone is the Collector. Mind Stone and Space Stone. So according to this, Mind is blue, Space is purple. Which one was in the Vision's head?
Oh, Loki. Loki's scepter had the other one. So the Space Stone is the Tesseract. The Power Stone was the one in Loki's scepter. Is that correct? The Power Stone was actually with the Nova Corps from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's who was guarding that. We never saw that on screen happen, but that's where he got the Power Stone. So that was kind of off-screen thing where that's one of the first 2 he had, right? So he got the Space Stone was the Tesseract from Loki, the Power Stone from the Nova Corps. So that's the 2 he had in the very beginning of the movie, essentially.
Am I right that in Thor, the first Thor, wasn't there a couple of them in Asgard?
Supposedly, but I think they revealed in Thor Ragnarok that actually most of that stuff was fake. Even the gauntlet was there. So yeah, it was showing the other side of Odin, and he kept fake shit in there.
I'll be damned.
So all that wasn't the real stuff. So that was one thing you missed in Thor Ragnarok if you hadn't seen that.
No, I hadn't actually seen Thor 2 or Ragnarok, and I loved the first Thor. And look down there at the trivia part. It says it allows them to be teleported wherever they want if they have that stone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's exact. I think that's correct. Yeah, because Loki did use the Space Stone in his scepter for a while. 'Cause that's how he opened the portal to invade Earth in the first Avengers. So that was the Tesseract.
Right.
Yeah, he had just used it before. Okay, so we had the Power Stone, which came from the Nova Corps, and that was kind of off screen. That was from Guardians. We had the Time Stone. Doctor Strange gave it up, apparently, in this big plan. That's the only way they can survive this. The Soul Stone, Red Skull was guarding it on the planet when he did the sacrifice to Gamora. The Reality Stone was with the Collector, which we had seen previously in the end of an end credit scene or whatever. The Mind Stone, he yanked it right out of Vision's forehead, which we kind of all expected that.
Yep.
And then the Space Stone, of course, was the Tesseract that Loki handed him in the beginning of the movie, trying to save Thor's life. So that's what surprised me going in. I said it earlier, I know, but that surprised me going into this movie that he got them all in the same movie.
I know. And Tarzan, how did you like seeing Peter Dinklage as a giant?
I was going to mention that, exactly what I was going to go to next.
That was pretty cool. It was cool. It was super cool. And, because they said he never wanted to play, like another midget role or whatever or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So they made him
And
huge.
he wasn't. Yeah, because, I think we all knew, being fans of Game of Thrones, that when they mentioned this dwarf, we knew it was going to be Peter Dinklage. But definitely they threw us off key, having him being.
No, I went into this movie not knowing Peter Dinklage was going to be in it.
Yes.
I had no
really?
idea. But
I was shocked.
I like how they made him a dwarf, and he said there used to be it was 100 dwarves there before Thanos killed him.
Yeah.
He bound his hands so he couldn't make any more weapons. I did like the Starforge thing. I'm glad they finally explained that, how these mythological weapons are created from the heart of a star. That was kind of cool. And I did love how they made him like a giant dwarf, like he was huge compared to, but still called himself a dwarf. So I'm glad they at least explained that. Like the gauntlet was made there, Thor's hammer the first time, and this new axe. That was pretty damn cool.
I thought I saw a couple more gauntlet gloves there that weren't polished. So maybe there's a chance he could get another one. I don't see him going that route. I'm just saying, if it was a cast of one. There were some with empty slots for the gems.
Yeah, it looked like a cast or maybe a rough, like a carving of the first one or something.
To make a mold with
a mold, yeah, exactly. So I'm glad they explained that, and they didn't leave it open about how the gauntlet works or why it's so powerful and can hold all the stones at once, or how Thor's shit's so powerful. But the other thing is Odin adds a little spell to the original hammer, which I can never pronounce. By whispering to it and shit, only he that is worthy, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. That was good they added that little backstory. So anyway, I think that covers all the stones. They got them all. Anything we didn't like about the movie? Any besides, I know we mentioned the Hulk a little bit. Not kind of extending that joke too far.
Yeah, that might be my biggest gripe. I said about not being on Earth enough, but I think probably, that's more understandable than the Hulk being so afraid. Because that's the way I took it. Is that what you took, Tarzan? He was afraid because he took that
I don't know if it was more afraid or shame, or because he's never lost a battle.
Shame is a good one. I didn't even think about that.
No, I think, obviously they're holding him off because he's going to be a bigger factor in the second half. He's got to be. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going to go in, but obviously they're holding back with him for something. He's going to be a little more involved in this second half. Because if you think about it, all we got was that one scene right in the beginning. That was it.
Yeah. And
he's a lot of CGI too. Remember that.
Yeah. I got a vibe off of Loki there at the end that he was turnable. And I guess you always get that vibe off of him, that he's almost on the edge of, being Thor's buddy.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, that's just his thing. You know what I mean? I mean, he has done good things in a lot of these movies.
He has.
He turns around and pulls some dickhead shit right afterwards. So,
yeah, he's definitely the anti-hero versus straight villain for sure. He's got a heart.
There is no more Asgard, right? I mean,
no, it's gone.
Like not even a planet, right?
Nope, nothing. Apparently, well. Actually, there's something there because in Ragnarok when Hela got destroyed by there was this prophecy, right? And they had to put they had to put something in the skull into that cauldron thing, and that's what would summon that demon that you met in the beginning of it to destroy and cause Ragnarok. So that actually happened, and he came and showed him destroyed and everything, but we haven't seen it obviously the aftermath of that. So. Physically, something's still there, maybe, but it's in ruins if it is.
And Thor's the only living inhabitant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did Homegirl from the last Thor die.
She's like the last Valkyrie. Or
She's
whatever.
a Valkyrie.
She's,
Yeah, so she would be another Asgardian if she's still out there. Which that's shocking that she was not. Where was she at? That's a good question. She was with them at the end, so I guess she just didn't want to be in the movie, or yeah, that's kind of a loose end there. Actually, if you hadn't seen Ragnarok, she is one of the last of the Valkyrie, the old school kind of King's Guard of before Ragnarok, and she's alive somewhere, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of a loose end I didn't think about till now.
Yeah. I will say, having seen the Black Panther right before and then seeing it in this movie, dude, vibranium rocks.
Yeah. There's not much you can't do with it.
Yeah, and I did not see his sister die that I remember. So
No, she got knocked around a little bit, but I didn't see her disappear.
I'm thinking she'll be pivotal in this next one of helping get this fixed. You know, somehow maybe getting the Vision, like we were talking about, maybe getting him back alive without the stone, and then using his smarts and her smarts combined somehow.
I think that. Well, I mean, it could certainly contribute to some individuals, but the big thing is going to be Captain Marvel, I'm sure.
That's true.
They did the call out to her.
Because,
and so apparently Nick Fury's been keeping her secret even from the Avengers since the 90s.
Yeah,
he's known about her since then, because this movie is going to take place in the 90s.
But here's the thing, dude. If he does not have that gauntlet anymore, it won't take her. So I think he's going to get it back somehow. Like, that was just a weird thing that they showed it melted and the stone's not in it or not shiny or something. Because otherwise, you don't really need her, do you? To defeat him. He's defeatable without that gauntlet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing. Where did he go after he snapped his fingers? What was that little realm or vision he was in with young Gamora? You know, and when she said, was it worth it? What did it cost? And she said everything. I mean, what was that place? What was that, what was he in? How does he get it back? Does he have it? Where'd it go? I mean, there's all these unanswered questions. So I don't know. Maybe people in the comments of YouTube can help us out with theories there as to where the stones went, where the gauntlet went, how this thing can be reversed. I even mentioned this actually as a possible idea, almost like the Game of Thrones only death can pay for life thing, to reverse this, that Captain America will volunteer to die to bring other people back. I think I mentioned that to you when we were coming home.
And that's not a bad idea. He would volunteer.
He absolutely would. So maybe there'll be something with somebody, whether it's Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel or whatever, where they can reverse time, but somebody has to go in their place or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because, it's almost like he was the only one that could move Thor's hammer a little bit.
Right.
He was the only one worthy enough.
That's right.
Well, here's what we know you got. You got the Ant-Man and Wasp, which they said it doesn't look like it's affecting the movie. But I wouldn't be surprised at the end of that movie somebody gets, turned to dust. You know what I mean?
Oh, good call.
Yeah, that's true. Is that going to take place concurrently somewhere off in some other part of the world?
Possibly.
Wherever he's hiding out?
And then Captain Marvel comes out in March of 2019. 2 months later is the other Infinity War.
Yeah, it's part 2, exactly. Yep.
If I would say one more thing I didn't like Captain America. I didn't like his look, his costume. He didn't feel like Captain America to me. He did not.
I kind of bought it from the Civil War thing. He was kind of broken a little bit, but just the whole whatever them fucking things were.
I didn't like that.
When they said, "Oh, we're gonna get you a shield," and then I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then I'm like, "What the fuck are those?"
Yeah, because they got Tony Stark's father thought that the vibranium shield he had was the only vibranium in the world. Well, obviously we learned in Black Panther they built a entire civilization on a meteor crash site essentially. So I thought for sure there would be some kind of other vibranium shield. Well, I'm sure, yes, it was vibranium, but I didn't dig them either. It was just almost like punching weapons.
That's right.
Just use your fist. He's bad enough. I don't know if you're not going to give him an actual Captain America-esque shield. I know they can't have time to paint it up just right. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was thinking.
Whatever.
Just
but
a straight-up shiny one.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Same size.
It was good fighting, but I didn't like the little just kind of pointy arm guards, what they were.
I don't know, like fucking arm sleds or something. I don't know. They were weird.
Arm sleds.
Like those camping shovels.
It looks like, yeah, exactly. It looked like he'd go skiing, just fucking on his belly, just fucking.
Do you know what a sharpshooter is? Those, like the trenching shovels?
Yeah.
Like the trenching shovels? That's
exactly.
He got fucking trenching shovels on his arms. Dig a hole, Cap.
Since Bucky was healed there, is that arm vibranium?
Yes, he was healed.
Yeah.
You saw that at the end of Black Panther. If you remember the end scene, the white wolf.
White wolf.
So that is everything there is vibranium. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his arm
If Wakanda gives you anything,
it's going to be
fucking
vibranium.
vibranium.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so
right.
he's going to be one hell of a Captain America. You know, if he gets a vibranium shield and has a vibranium arm, and I'm looking forward to it. I am. I just felt I just felt like a Captain America, being from the time frame he's really from, wouldn't have a beard and that haircut. I don't know. But like you said, he was damaged goods after the war, Civil War.
Yeah, I think that changed him a little bit. And they've switched up his costume quite a bit in all these movies and went away from the brighter stuff as well. But so I'm fine with the costume. But yeah, I would like to see him, classic with a shield at least.
Again, I think a lot of these moves are for a reason. Like I said with the Hulk, I think Cap, I think they're all going to come back just a little more glamorous, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
And
like I was
especially
saying-
because Cap's going down. I'm pretty sure that this next movie is going to be it for him.
I think so. I think that's got to happen, and then they'll have to end the Hulk joke. They'll have to end it, and
Yes.
he'll have to come back
And really kick some ass.
And really,
it's going to be.
yeah.
Oh, he will. Yeah.
Now, is it safe to say that Infinity War 2 will have Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Wasp, these people who weren't in this one?
There's going to have to be replacements for There's going to be some kind of film. There's got to be.
I would think so. I would
Yeah.
think so. They did mention them, and so they could keep them off if there's some reason the actors didn't want to do it or there's some deal. I don't know their contracts, but if Ant-Man's coming out and Wasp and it's in the time frame or either concurrent or after, then he's back in action anyway. He's got to come out of hiding from the Civil War era. So I would think he's got to be in it.
Yeah.
And we know Captain Marvel, obviously, if it's 2 months away from the Infinity War, they're really going to fucking soup her up. You're going to see probably a pretty badass motherfucker when it comes down next March. Because then 2 months later, it's like, bam, Infinity War. Well, I guess we shouldn't say this, but I'm going to because I'm just like that. What's her name?
Kara Danvers.
Captain Marvel.
Carol Danvers. And what's Supergirl's name?
Yeah, Kara Danvers, exactly.
Kara
Ooh.
Danvers.
Kara,
Yeah.
Kara,
I
whatever.
didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
there's a lot
they
of- there's a-
always they
Go
bite
back
off
and
each
forth.
other all the time. They
All the
always
time.
do. Just like
Just-
Deadpool.
Wade Wilson and Slade. Is it Slade Wilson?
Wade and Slade Wilson and all that shit. Yeah, these artists
they're
go back and
fuckers.
forth. And
She's carrying the name of the whole, universe, the Marvel. The name
yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, well, there's been many incarnations of Captain Marvel
Yes.
too, though.
Yes.
So yeah, but this current one, obviously.
Now, I want to say this, and you guys might, think I am nuts, but you remember when the first Batman came out, and Jack Nicholson, I think he won an Oscar for the Joker. I would not be surprised if Josh Brolin is at least nominated. And for a comic movie, I thought he, as far as characters, he would deserve a nod.
Yeah, he
at
gave
least.
Thanos a lot of depth. He really
He
did.
did,
a good
man.
job. I did not expect that much depth in Thanos. I
Me
did.
either, dude.
Yeah, that's what I like that they added. It wasn't just some, twisted evil villain that laughs a certain way. Like,
Right.
He had a purpose. It made sense. From his perspective, but we could see that. We could kind of almost empathize a little bit with him, with Gamora, and you saw the real tears that she thought was a joke. And so I'm glad they gave him some depth and not just brought out this big bad motherfucker and didn't really explain who or what the fuck he was.
Is Pepper pregnant?
It's a good question because Stark can go too. I told you on the way I would not be surprised if Tony Stark went in the second one.
Yep.
So I expected Captain America to go this one, but I guess that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they both go, but I could see it because he's not doing any more Iron Man movies, solo movies, and this is the last Avengers for now that we know of, right?
Yeah, I think
I believe. I don't know anybody's contracts, and I don't know their whole,
This is the end of Phase
3.
Yes, I don't think they haven't revealed anything. For
They,
Phase 4,
I don't think they revealed anything for Phase 4. Exactly. So
Well,
I
now
have no
Phase
idea.
4 is an open book because you got to think about it. Now you think the fucking universe is big now. they're gonna have to come up with a master plan because now you got the X-Men. There's a lot of great stories where I don't know. I mean, it's a whole open market because Stan Lee and Marvel and shit. The characters did weave a lot. I mean, you saw a lot of characters in different environments, like we were saying, X-Force, Excalibur, fucking Generation X. I mean, there's just so many, Alpha Flight, Wolverine. They got to do something with Wolverine quick. They have to. So I'm pretty sure that, that those movies are not going to be relevant. I got a feeling.
So anyway, I mean, this was, I would say, without have seen it a second time yet, that I would say this is probably the best overall Marvel movie for me.
I think it's the best comic movie ever.
Comic movie,
ever
period,
made.
really.
Yep.
I know a lot of people thought Wonder Woman might have been the best comic movie ever.
It was great.
It was great, but not now.
No way in hell.
Black Panther, obviously, a lot of people love Black. I love Black Panther. I did not like the ending with Killmonger fight so much, but the whole movie was outstanding. But I think
I'm on the
this,
same page. Exactly.
I think this probably takes the cake, and they did it right. I fully expected to have a few rushed scenes, and there were
Kinda
small
sloppy.
flaws.
Yeah,
I expected it to be sloppy because there were so many people to have screen time, but they made it work. And
They knocked it out.
They did, knocked it out of the park. So I don't really give numbers to wrap this up. I've never really give numbers as far as like on a rating of 1 to 10 or something. But
yeah,
if I did, I mean, this has got to be a 9.5, 9.5. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a number. Top fucking 5 all time. You give it a month. It's gonna break pocket. It's gonna kill.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's gonna break records. Absolutely.
And you said you've seen it multiple times already, Tarzan, correct?
Twice.
Yeah, and I definitely am gonna see it in theaters again.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. The only thing is, I gotta say it. Disney, good fucking job on the fucking, on the Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
But god damn it, what the fuck did you do to Star Wars, motherfuckers? You nailed this.
Oh,
you nailed
I know.
this.
If they would just sit back and be the owners and let the individual studios take care of things like do Marvel, they let Marvel do what they need to do. But they've taken Star Wars to this political bullshit and destroyed it, and it's absolutely insane. So please leave Marvel the fuck alone. Leave Marvel Studios to do its own thing, and you just sit back and rake in the bucks, please. And fix fucking Star Wars while you're at it.
Right.
Leave them alone too, or get Kathleen Kennedy out of there, whatever you got to do.
I want to ask this real quick. Black Widow. There is absolutely nothing superpower about her, correct?
Nope. But they are doing a Black Widow movie, an origin story.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, because that kind of bothers me. When you have characters like that, okay, we know Tony Stark has no powers, but his mind and his technology, I could see that.
Just like Batman.
I don't like her not even having a special weapon or anything.
She does have a special weapon.
Her looks?
That ass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I agree, and I love her. I do.
Hey,
She's a
she
sexy
did use
woman.
that when she was an assassin, for sure.
Yes,
She did use that
yes.
absolutely when she was an assassin.
I see her, kick. Yeah, that scene where she's tied to that chair, dude, and takes that phone call. That was awesome.
That was a book before out of her old Assassin's red ink book.
and
You know
that's
what I mean?
dealing with humans. I feel like that stretches it a lot when they have her fighting these badass supervillains and stuff. And aliens
I agree.
and shit.
But and then you think about I actually thought about that too. And then you had in this particular movie, the end scene at Wakanda. Only Black Panther there really has. Everybody's got a little technology, the shields, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's really just spears.
Yeah.
As far as the whole crowd of Wakandans.
Their cloaks are really cool.
Their cloaks
when
and
they touch
and
each other.
That is true. I mean, I guess they got interwoven. I guess that's true. Their clothes do have vibranium interwoven in them and stuff.
Those gorilla guys from up in the mountains, I don't
Yes.
think they have anything, do they?
I believe they share it. Yeah, I think they
Okay.
share it. I think they do.
But her and Hawkeye really has zero powers,
Yep.
and he, his bow and arrow, and I liked him as a comic player, a comic book character when I was a kid. I really liked him a lot, and I wish his suit looked more like that.
Yeah.
But he does better as a supporting cast member. I don't see him out there swinging fists and fighting these things. That's the only thing. And I know it's all a stretch. I mean, come on, it is all a stretch. Like you always say, you got to suspend reality a little bit.
Right.
But they could power them up a little bit in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I could have seen him. The unrealistic part about it is, even if you put him up in a crow's nest somewhere where he's just shooting down, let's say he was in this movie.
Yeah.
In the final scene, he's up on the top of the Wakandan building there or whatever, and he's shooting down and killing
like
aliens.
Like a sniper. Yeah,
like a sniper. But he would have to have a fucking 15 barrels of arrows.
Yes. That little quiver, he's done. I mean,
now, if you add a little technology from Tony Stark to where the arrows kill somebody and then come back to him,
dude,
that would be cool.
There you go. Yes. Need some more technology with these guys.
Yeah, right.
So
I've thought about that before too.
Put a little
Dude.
vibranium
Little
up in there.
vibranium and some kind of thing so they can go through the body and come back out rocket style to him.
How
I
cool
don't
would
know.
that be? And literally return to the quiver itself.
Return to the quiver, exactly.
SNL did a skit, and they had the actual actor that played Hawkeye on there, and they're all kicking ass and shit.
I
Like, all
saw
right,
that.
Hawkeye, you saw that?
He was out of arrows. Exactly. It was funny.
That's funny as hell.
But yeah, it's exactly right though. They picked up on what a lot of people were saying. What you're saying right now is I've always said that about, like, once he runs out of arrows, he's fucked. I mean, he can fight, sure, but he can't fight 15 fucking aliens.
No
Sorry,
way.
he just can't do it. Black Widow either.
He needs to be more of a sniper, like you said, and have an ass load of arrows.
Yeah, and it's just unrealistic for him to carry that many on his back. Unless they return to the quiver.
The docking station.
Exactly. But then again, he's still he's got to wait for it to come back, I guess. But anyway, just a thought for Hawkeye, for anybody in Disney out there listening at Marvel Studios. Let's get him let's make him make sense.
You could almost see this technological helmet or whatever that, or where like a little lens would pop over his eye and help him zoom real far, and the arrows have technology in him too, and would
That would be like, that would be too much like Deadshot, though.
Oh, it would be like Deadshot. Yeah.
He's got this superhuman eye-hand coordination somehow, but it's not really. Anyway, we'll see. So we'll see in part 2 in a year from now.
Last thing, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I do need to say this. The government, the military needs to back off these guys and let them do their thing, man. I hate that they're like a thorn in your side,
That was the whole Civil War thing.
Yeah,
the whole
it
government
really
being involved.
does bother me, man.
The Accords, and they kind of mentioned that about Hawkeye in the first place, and Ant-Man. I don't know why Ant-Man would be involved in the Accords, but anyway.
But they do. They need to get out of there. I mean, just...
Yeah, because Captain America came back in this one, said it's time to go to work, and he was done, because he was the one that's anti-Accords and anti-government, where Tony Stark was on the side of being regulated. So anyway, we'll see in about a year.
Yeah.
In about a year, we'll get the ending to this thing and how it's all going to wrap up. So
I want to ask you guys a question on air. Does DC have a fighting chance?
No.
Nah, fuck no.
No, absolutely not. They're playing catch up so much they shoot themselves in the foot every time.
I know.
Wonder Woman alone is great. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest
Some
them
of these standalones could potentially be okay, but you needed to build up for what they did with Justice League, and it's just kind of like, oh, it's Justice League, That's kind of how I left it.
They rushed it to catch up with 2 Avengers, and it didn't work.
I totally agree.
The Superman story should have been done right. It wasn't.
Exactly. It was horrible.
It was a fucking shit show. That's what we call it.
Exactly.
I got to ask you another one, Chris. Now that you see all this stuff that Marvel's doing and how awesome it's turning out, do you want to see them reboot Spawn?
It's happening.
Oh, is it?
Spawn's coming back.
I like anything McFarlane, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I like anything McFarlane.
And that was Chris's dude, man, was Spawn.
I haven't heard anything about a Spawn reboot, much less a release date.
I really hope they don't, screw the pooch on it. I hope they take time and make that character what it should be. You said a 9.5. If I had to give it a number out of 10, I would definitely give it a 9 for sure.
Yeah, I would say 9 too. I agree. I can't. I don't know about the point. That's why I don't do numbers.
Yeah,
I don't do number systems.
9.675.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would. Nothing can be really. It's going to take a lot to get me a 10, even a 9.5. So I would say 9 if I had to give it a fucking number too. I did say earlier 9 or 9.5, but Anyway,
I just look at it this way: definitely more entertaining than fucking Avatar, and I hope it gives Avatar hell and knocks it out. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope so.
Oh yeah, and I have no doubt.
I will say this too, since we're wrapping this up and I'm discussing the end of the movie. I think one thing they could have added was a mid-credit scene or something. Don't make me wait 15 minutes of credits for that.
That did suck. Yeah, we were there too. I'm like, fuck, I gotta piss. Come on, damn it.
Yeah,
it's always and they usually do have
two. It was weak.
Well, it was. I think it was actually the one. I think from the Marvel movies though, from the end credit scene, it actually was the strongest in the sense of having a purpose. Because you saw exactly what it was setting up. Even if you didn't know what that symbol was, you go look it up, and
it wasn't as ambiguous as some of the others.
Yeah, where it was like
worthless,
or worthless, like the Captain America one at the end,
where
like
they were eating, or whatever that one was, where they were eating in the restaurant.
That was the first Avengers, yeah.
Humor,
but this one actually at least had a purpose, and it showed you that not only where they were, people were disappearing, but back in fucking New York or Chicago, wherever they were.
That's a good point.
People randomly disappearing.
Yeah, it is really
happening all over the world.
Good point. This dude Apocalypse looks pretty awesome.
Or they could do.
Oh fuck yeah. But they fucked him up already too.
Yeah, they fucked him up too. They did. Yeah, he was the first ever mutant. They fucked him up bad.
Oh,
he's probably equally as badass as fucking Thanos, if not maybe even a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he's almost omnipotent.
So you're saying he's already been in a movie?
Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse.
That's funny as hell. You got to leave that in there. That's funny as hell. I haven't seen it. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean it's worth watching. It's worth watching, but I don't know. I'm not buying Sophie Turner's Jean Grey and stuff. We'll watch it. We'll watch it. This is with the younger X-Men cast. The First Class people.
Oh, I loved First Class.
Yeah, so Apocalypse has already been out. Yep. But anyway, we'll see next year for Infinity Wars 2, and they did hide that subtitle because it was supposed to be a spoiler. So we'll see that, I guess, come out now. That's now that we've seen the first one, they can release the subtitle, I suppose.
Oh.
So apparently it was a spoiler to the first movie, so they didn't announce the subtitle to part 2.
That. Okay.
We'll see what it is, but... anyway, guys, I guess we'll wrap this up. For you guys that watch and listen on YouTube, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it the best ever? We'll give it a rank. What were its weaknesses, strengths, all that good stuff? Let us know. Get the conversation going. Remember, this podcast is also available on SoundCloud, Google Play, and iTunes, so you can download it there as well. And be sure to subscribe to the new YouTube channel since we had to redo the YouTube channel a couple months back. You can always go to the sideeffectpodcast.com and link to all those places from right there. So anyway, let us know what you think, and I guess we'll say overall it was fucking outstanding.
Yes, it was.
It's the best movie we've seen in a while, really. It really has been. To be in that genre, absolutely. I mean, it's better than the Star Wars movies. I'll say it. And I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't see how they can, even Marvel can top these. I mean, I'm sure the second one will be just as good. I don't see how Marvel can top it unless they go X-rated and start doing porn, Marvel porn.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, put a little bit of realism in there. With the superheroes, they do have sex off screen. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So why not? Let's just go X. And this is something that you'll absolutely enjoy it anywhere you watch it, but you want to see this on the big fucking screen.
You have to, guys.
You want to see it on the big screen.
I'm one of those people who wait on DVD. This is not one to do that.
Yep. Go sit in the recliner, pay the $149 for popcorn, and check it out on the big fucking screen. That's what it is.
Soda.
That's what it costs now to go to fucking movies. $149.53. I promise you, with the ticket and a small popcorn and a small fucking drink, which is like a gallon.
Yes,
it's $149.57.
That's right.
So, anyway, save up your money and go see it again.
Hide your candy in your boot.
Yes, exactly.
I know a lot of people sneak in that shit now these days. They do.
Oh, yes.
That's why women go in there and they got those pocketbooks the size of suitcases because they got drinks, snacks, popcorn, water.
Fuck yeah, microwave.
Yeah, little fucking camp stove.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell. See smoke coming up. Yeah. Start smelling something good.
Yeah. Somebody barbecuing in the back.
I wish you could fortune in the wars to come.
You underestimate underestimate the power of the dark side.